That's so fucked.
It is, and that's a coping comment, right?
Yeah,
It's not a true
yeah,
comment. So,
yeah,
because actually, if you had my mom, you would not wish that. You'd rather be heartbroken, trust me, than having a
yeah.
piece of shit that didn't give a shit about you. You know, I would rather break my mother's heart than have her break mine. If that
Yeah.
sounds fair.
Wow.
I mean, because like I look at like with Anaya, um, I know she'll do things that'll break my heart. You know, because she's dumb, not because she means to. And
Well, it's because
as a parent, you understand.
it's the, yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
for sure, for sure.
I know
We should
yeah,
we should have traded moms for a while.
yeah. Well, then you went ahead of mom. You know, I can't say my upbringing wasn't colorful. I have a lot of
Yeah,
neat stories about being left alone. You know, those aren't really
yeah,
they're funny stories, but they're not really cool stories when you think of that was a child. You know, like they're funny for me to tell as an adult and like oh because I'm here, but it's not cool to leave your fucking child alone for weeks. You know, to fend for themselves, and then you give them $20 for groceries to last them 2 weeks. You know, stuff like that. It's just such a disregard for humanity. Really, it's like you created this fucking kid and you don't want to fucking take care of him. I'm a burden to you. You know, and feeling like a burden your entire life. So there is a there is a definite trade-off. Um, but
yeah.
I don't think you need to have my mom to appreciate yours.
That's pretty
Obviously,
fucked. That's pretty
obviously.
fucked.
Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff. It just and as a kid you don't realize it because like you're in the forest, right? You don't understand. And you step outside of the forest, you're like, oh, that was a really shitty person. You know, you're a like we saw her this summer, and I got nauseous, and I didn't like her either, and
Wow.
and she goes, she reminds me of my mom. I don't like her, like because she goes, she reminds her of her mom a year ago. Selena's been on medication for a year, and Anaya is really appreciating it because, and I do too, because you can tell she's different and she's trying. And I work with her a lot. I have a lot of very long conversations with her to not go back into old habits. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's like it's you know we're dealt with
Yeah.
what we're dealt, and and I'm really sorry with what you dealt with because that'd be a hard thing too. I mean, on the flip side, I'd be like, if that was my mom, I'd be like, yeah, see ya, you're on your own, you know,
I
like
know, and I wish I could do that. Fuck.
yeah,
But
and that's why you're saying, I wish she was an asshole. I wish you could make me feel like that would be justified, but and
yeah,
honestly, even if when my mom passes, I probably won't even give her that much of a thought. I'll cry. I'll probably cry because that is my mother, but it's not going to be like
yeah,
deep and heartbroken. It's just going to be a connection that was broken. I'll cry and then I'll be done with it. Whereas I probably
right,
have more connection with
right.
my father now than I do with my mother, which is
Yeah,
strange. But
because you reconnected with him.
yeah, I appreciate that. But I mean, even like my
Yeah,
Anaya realizes that we really don't have much family. You know, like she has Papa, but she still has to. Every time she meets him, she has to get to know him again. You know, that whole we don't have
yeah,
anybody we can just walk into the situation and be cool with. And that sucks for me as a parent because I feel bad for Anaya, but then I've also built her to be independent and not needing that. So I suppose I built her a little calloused as well in a sense because you have to be. If you're not going to have a bunch of fucking coddlers and people like nurturing you and stuff, you have to be kind of harsh. And so
yeah,
she's a little like
yeah,
that. But anyway, I hope I haven't
yeah.
projected
Fair
too
enough.
much of my shit onto her. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
one thing
No, good for
I've
you.
never heard from you is what was your mom's name?
Sharon.
Sharon.
Yeah.
That's easy to remember. Sharon Tate.
There you go. What a
I,
great.
wa- I was just watching something about Hollywood.
Yeah.
Horrible, but she lived. She lived in that movie, so it's like it's good.
In that movie, she did. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a crazy
Sharon
movie.
Tate.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
And
It's a
that's
good
weird.
movie. Like
That's
that
the.
movie.
I really do love that movie. I love the relationship between Leonardo and Brad, or I can't remember
Yeah.
the
It's a
character.
good one.
It's fun. I'm like, fuck, that would be a really cool real relationship, like the stunt guy and the lead.
Yeah.
What a
Yeah.
interesting relationship that would be. A nice dynamic. I just kind of appreciated that. It's like I
Yeah.
appreciate everything about that
Yeah. It's a great
movie.
movie.
I can't believe how they did like when he's driving down the street, like and all the signs and everything. I'm like, what? How do they do that? Because it looks
I know.
it's so amazing. I'm like they can't be pulling stock footage.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this I don't know what they're doing, but to me that was most everything that was a callback to Hollywood, old Hollywood. That was my favorite part of the movie. It was just like kind of going back in time, and I mean I love the story too, but um, I just love watching it.
Oh, I loved it. And then when I was riding my motorbike through Old Hollywood too, I was like,
Oh
God, this is fucking awesome, man.
yeah,
This is the shit. And
the
I
hills.
and I think when I was there, I watched The Hills. Awesome. Um, there's a movie called what the fuck is it called?
The hills have eyes.
Licorice Pizza.
Oh,
The Hills. I think it's called Licorice Pizza. Really good. Yeah,
oh, that sounds horrible.
yeah. The pizza sounds horrible, but
Yeah,
it's set in Old Hollywood. Well, it's set in Hollywood, L.A. in the '60s or early '70s. It's a really good
it's
movie.
it's called Licorice Pizza.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll have to check it out.
You'll like it. You'll like it if you like that one with what we were just talking about. You'll like that too.
That memorable one we were just talking about that we can't remember.
Yeah, the one I can't remember. Yeah.
Anyway, be inside voice.
All right, I think I better go because
Gotta
I
work.
gotta kind of get myself into going to bed mode and
All
going to
right.
hell tomorrow.
Same place though, with that video or the
Nah,
audio,
sort of. Yeah.
the audio you sent me.